All right, so my name is Ilana Drew, and I am the Director of Student Recruitment and Partnership Strategy for for Social Innovation. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm the lead recruiter at UMass Dartmouth, University of Vermont, Clark, SNU, Skidmore, and any new partnerships. I'm going to turn it over now to Eric Schwartz, co-founder and CEO, to give a couple opening remarks, but we're delighted to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining our virtual open house.
Thanks, Ilana. Can people hear me okay? Awesome. So I'm Eric Schwartz. I use the he, his pronouns. As Ilana mentioned, I'm the co-founder and CEO of College for Social Innovation. I'm really excited to get to meet all of you virtually over the next couple hours. I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. We're going to have some trivia. You're going to get a chance to hear from students currently in the program and from alumni. There'll be 2 extended breakout sessions with a chance for questions and dialogue and a chance to hear more from Stephanie and others on the program team. So hopefully we'll have a really good time with you. We wish you were here in person. Usually we have an amazing taco bar from Qdoba. It's, you know, the day is fun, but the taco bar is part of the highlight. So we missed that, but I look forward to learning about you through the chat and through the breakout sessions in particular. I'd love to just share 3 kind of quick observations before turning it back over to Ilana and giving you a chance to hear more from staff and students in the program and who've done the program. And you know, the first is kind of to state the obvious. We're living through a really tough time. Like, this is just an extraordinary time in American history, in world history. The pandemic's part of it, but so is climate change, so is systemic racism, so is just the kind of widening opportunity gaps and widening divisions in our society. And, you know, so what do we do about that? And I think the only advice I can share is just to love yourself, to love your neighbor, and to sort of keep some sense of hope that better days can be created by us if we come together. And the need for all of you and all of us as problem solvers is greater than ever before in Boston and beyond. And I think that's an exciting opportunity for us to sort of hear and move towards that call of service. Second quick observation is really, I think, experiential learning has always worked. I created this program because an internship changed my life when I was 19 years old. There's a lot of research and there's a million anecdotes about this kind of real world learning, changing lives and being highly impactful for people of all ages. But amidst this pandemic, amidst the particular, I think, hiring challenges that are to come, the importance of real world experiences and real world learning is, I think, greater than ever before. What we're hearing from employers, what I see through my son, who's 23, who's out, you know, graduated last May and is out looking for work, is employers are increasingly skeptical about just credentials alone, and they want stories about real world experiences, real world accomplishments, real world failures and challenges, and want to know that you sort of navigated through that world. So the premise of the program, I think, is more important than ever before. And last thing I want to share is just, you know, we've been doing this now for 9 semesters. This is our 9th semester. We're sort of relentless. I'm relentless about looking at the data. How can we get better every semester? How can we get better even in a pandemic? How can we kind of learn and consistently improve? And, you know, what we've learned is that there's a lot of aspects to the program, a lot of benefits. I think students come out with better skills. They come out with stronger networks. But probably the most important benefit is, I think, the confidence and the sense of purpose that students who do this program develop. And we hear again and again, this got me out of my comfort zone. This was a powerful opportunity to build my confidence and build my sense of purpose. And when you can combine purpose and confidence with skills and networks, you can go so far. So I hope to get to know all of you a little better over the next couple hours and get a chance to get to know many of you much better this coming spring semester or in a future semester at Semester in the City. So with that, I'll turn it over to Ilana and enjoy the next couple hours.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, so just to give you kind of an overview of what to expect today, we're going to start with kind of like a just general overview about the program. And then we'll get a chance to have everyone split into breakout rooms where you'll get to hear from current students, alumni, and staff about the program in a more small group setting. After the breakout rooms, we'll take a quick break. That'll be from 1:50 to 2. And then we'll talk a little bit more about how to actually apply. Then you'll get a choice between 3 different options. So if you're a UNH student who's interested in hearing more about our new pilot program, SITC at UNH, you'll be able to go into a specific breakout room for that. If you'd like some more one-on-one time with an alumni or a recruiter to learn more or ask more questions, we'll put you into a breakout room for that. Or you can just stay in the main room where you'll get a video tour of a couple of our awesome apartments and hear from a panel of students about residential and community life. Later on, we will be playing a little trivia game and giving away some prizes. So you'll want to pay attention. As you go through listening, feel free to write down things like, the organizations that we work with, what our classes and our internships are like, what it's like to live in Boston, and any important deadlines that you might hear. Because folks who answer the trivia questions correctly may be selected to win some awesome prizes. So pay attention and get ready to rock our trivia game. Now I'm going to turn it back over to Stephanie to give a little bit of an overview about the program.
Awesome. Thanks, Ilana. Hi, everyone. Again, I'll just reintroduce myself. My name is Stephanie Morales, and I am the manager of student recruitment. And super excited to tell you a little bit more about the basics of our program, because we recognize that some folks are coming in with varying levels of knowledge of what Semester in the City is. So Semester in the City is a 15-week program where you earn a full semester's worth of credit to live and work in Boston, which is my beautiful background today. And the main component of our program is, of course, an internship with a social sector organization. So what that means is it's either typically nonprofits, government agencies, or a social mission business of some sort. And how we match you is that we base it off of your interests, major skills that you're looking to build, and issues that you care about and are passionate about. You'll be working 30 hours per week during the semester with a meaningful special project that's going to leave an impact on your organization long after you're gone, and a dedicated mentor to guide you through the experience. It's really just an amazing way to build your network, gain real-world experience, and get you ready to walk out of college and hopefully into an amazing, meaningful career. And the internship, while you're here, it's also supported by 2 wraparound classes, and those are focused on the theory and practice of social change. So what those look like is basically they're designed to bridge the gap between the skills you learn in college, in the classroom, and the skills that employers are looking for while preparing you to make change on the issues that you care about. So you'll be learning all about human-centered design thinking, critical problem solving, persuasive storytelling, working on diverse teams, and getting ready to launch a purpose-driven career. Sorry, there's construction outside. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll talk a little bit louder. And on top of all of that, you'll get to experience living in the amazing city of Boston. You'll be living in a spacious 4-bedroom apartment, or you'll live in spacious 4-bedroom apartments in Allston, and that's a really fun area of Boston near the BC area. And if you have family or friends in the Boston area and you'd like to live with them and save money on housing altogether, that's totally possible. We also plan a lot of great community events to make sure that you have plenty of time to connect with your peers, connect with people in your cohort, and make personal connections as well while growing your professional network. And the best part of Semester in the City is that it's designed to cost about the same as a semester on campus, and some students even save some money by doing this. And you gain a full semester's worth of credit, as I said, from your university. So those are the nuts and bolts and kind of like the basics of what we're talking about. So I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna go into those breakout rooms like Ilana mentioned, and you'll get to hear from students who have participated or are currently participating in the program right now.
Awesome.
So Ilana, anything I missed?
No, that's great. It's just going to take me about 1 more minute to sort out the breakout rooms. Apologize for that.
No worries, no worries. So I'll quickly just explain to folks. You'll be moving into a breakout room, and what that's going to look like is it's going to have one current fellow, at least one semester in the city alum, and some of our staff members are going to be in that breakout room. So the current fellow is going to tell you all about their internship, the classes, life in Boston, and you'll be able to ask questions about their experiences. And it'll be great to hear from alum as well, to just pick their brains about how they feel like, now that they're removed from semester in the city, how they feel like it's impacted them. And we'll all come back to this room at about 1:50. We'll have about a 10-minute break. And just make sure to get back by 2, because that's when trivia is going to start and we'll be announcing prizes.
2 more seconds and I'll have you all where you need to be. Sorry about this. Sorry, folks. All right, open the rooms and we will all be heading back into this main room by 1:50. All right, we're just about to get started again, so feel free to hop back on, turn your videos back on if you'd like. Excited to see all this conversation going on in the chat. But yeah, I mean, feel free to continue going in the chat. In just about 20 seconds, I'm going to turn it over to Devin Cruz to introduce herself and talk a little bit about the admissions process. So excited to see everyone popping back on. Hello, hello. Awesome. All right. So yeah, welcome back everyone. Hope you had a good restful break. And it looks like Devin's son is joining to help Devin tell us a little bit about admissions in just a few minutes. Ready when you are, Devin.
Okay, if I get interrupted in the middle, if one of my lovely colleagues would like to pick up where I left off, that would be amazing. So my name is Devin Cruz.
Like, I can't hear the instructions because everybody's talking too loud and because I don't want to have to read everything.
This is Giles, who is remote schooling right now. I'm going to tell him to take a deep breath and I'll help you in 5 minutes. Okay?
What do I do in the next 5 minutes?
Just sit or ask Mrs. O'Leary. I'll help you in a little bit. Okay, so apologies. This is what working from home in 2020 with children is like. Devin Cruz, Associate Director of Student Recruitment and Enrollment. So what that means is that I have a small portfolio of schools that I recruit at, UMass Amherst, LaSalle, and Bridgewater. But also I work with every student from the moment they apply through to the moment hopefully they enroll in Boston. So just briefly about the application process. We have an application on our website. There are about 16 different buttons that you can click on to get there. I think there will also be a link in the chat. Thank you, Elena. It's just a brief application. It's really meant to see or to sort of suss out what you're interested in the program is. Why are you interested? What sort of work would you like to be doing? There are 3 brief short answer questions that you will answer as you are going through the application. It's not meant to be like your college application, which you potentially poured over, right? Like it's meant to take about half an hour. We want to see good work from you and thoughtful answers, but it doesn't need to be the perfect college essay that you submitted when you applied last year or the year before. After you submit your application, you have an interview with me. Again, like no tricky questions in the interview, things that you'd normally be getting asked in a job interview. And then I guess I should also say that the interview is really meant, again, to be sort of like a mutual interview, right? So we want to learn more about your interest in the program, but also it's for you to get a chance to really think about would you fit? Does the program feel like a fit? And to have any questions answered that you have. After the interview, within usually about a week, you hear back from us. We're working on a rolling admissions process. You fill out an enrollment form, and then after that enrollment form, you get matched. So just quickly about deadlines, our priority deadline was technically yesterday. However, for our lucky open house attendees, the deadline has been extended to October 4th. So if you get in your application by the priority deadline, what that really means is that we get to know what you're interested in, and it allows us, when we're doing our host organization recruitment, to really target organizations that work in areas that we're getting a lot of interest in. Our final deadline is November 1st. So that is something to keep in mind as well. And as you're working on an application, if you have questions, you can absolutely reach out to me. There's no reason not to. So with that, unless I missed anything, Elena.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Devin, and thank
Sure.
Giles and Evie for their guest appearances. And now we're going to turn it over to Ashley to talk about some exciting, about the exciting trivia process and introduce herself.
Hello, I'm so excited to meet all of you, sort of virtually, to see all of you virtually, sort of. My name is Ashley Van Adema. I am the Associate Program Director and Senior Instructor at CFSI, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I teach our Wednesday night Social Innovators Toolbox class. That's kind of my primary job, but I also work with students on any kind of academic challenges that they might be having, any accommodations that you need. I'm part of our instructional team, so I help with curriculum development and such. And I'm basically just a resource for students once they are here and after they leave. I'm so excited to see some of our alumni today. I can hardly breathe. So that is a little bit about me. I get the really fun job today of leading trivia, which makes me really super excited because I've had like kind of a strange crush on Alex Trebek for like the majority of my life. So I'm really getting to live my Jeopardy, host dream right now. So what we are going to do is I will ask a question and you will put your answer in the chat. We can't have any duplicates. So if your answer, you want to try and be as quick as you can, because if your answer was already said, then you'll have to come up with a new one. And you will want to put the number of the question that we asked. So question 1 and then your answer, so that we can make sure that we can go through that. And then when all of the correct ones that we see, I think it might be hard to get some of them incorrect at this point, but all the correct ones will go into a hat of sorts. I'm kind of picturing that's what Devin's doing over up there, is is putting all the answers in a hat, and we'll randomly draw them, and you'll win a prize, which also makes me happy. Once you come to Semester in City and get to know me a little bit better, you'll realize I'm incredibly rewards motivated. So the idea that there's prizes is super exciting. So quick reminder, just put the number before you put in your answer, and we will get started. Okay, we'll give you a little time to answer too, so I'll try not to rush through these. Marissa, I should have had you play the Jeopardy song in between, so we know how much time.
I have that on my computer.
I know. I think it might be like your alarm sound that you wake up to. All right, question number 1. What is the name of a host organization that you read or heard about today? Okay, I will go on because I know you're all seeing them at the same time, and I like folks that are just on top of it and throwing their answers right in the chat. What is one thing that you learn about in our courses? This is exciting for me. There's so many answers you could give. Number 3 is going to be, what is one thing that makes our internships different from a typical internship? If you don't have an answer, I would say Marissa and Ellie, they are our magical internships team, and Avery, so they definitely make a big difference. Number 4 is, what is one thing that makes you excited thinking about living in Boston? If you were in my breakout room, you know I told you about Boston's soundtrack, which is traffic. Or as Sarah, who's one of our alums, wrote last year, a little love letter to the T, because the sound of the T kind of lulled her to sleep at night. So that is something to be excited about. And then number 5 is, what is one quality that we use to match you to your internship? So you can put your question number in the chat, send a separate chat for each answer, maybe take a peek and make sure that nobody before you put your answer in before you did, so that you can make sure that you have a whole bunch of different options. And we're going to collect those names and put them in a Google Sheet and randomly pick the names. And then you'll get a prize, and I'll tell you what those prizes are.
All right, so now we can play the imaginary Jeopardy music for until 2:10, and then I will be able to pick a response, pick responses, and we'll share the results.
Elena, thank you for giving me the fun job, the really fun job today. Ooh, I am looking through the answers and I see someone talking about a specific restaurant that they want to go to. I need to put that on my list. I've never been to Garbanzo restaurant. Ooh, Cole wants to experience old Boston. Is that like historic Boston, or like the older people that live here? Either way.
I love architecture, so I'm looking for like the historic architecture.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if maybe you were a gerontology major or something. But yeah, the architecture is absolutely gorgeous.
All right, we did a random number generator. I had to enter all of your names into a Google spreadsheet and then pick a number on the side corresponding, and I'm excited to share the winners. Ashley will announce them along with the prizes, and Devin will message you individually to get your contact information so that we can get those prizes to you. So, drum roll, please. Wait, there we go. Maybe? Yes.
Okay, trivia winners, here they are. For question number 1, Molly, you will be getting a CFSI chapstick, a reusable straw, and a phone wallet. I have to tell you, the majority of our team has those phone wallets on the back of our phones, and we love them. And you can literally never have enough chapstick. So I hope that you really enjoy that and rock your new CFSI swag. Oh, Taylor, big win here. A CFSI windbreaker. I never thought I was a windbreaker person, to be quite honest with you, but it turns out I am. I actually wear mine more than I thought I would. For number 3, Cole, you win a $10 Starbucks gift card. If you want to tell us if anyone wants to tell us in the chat what their favorite Starbucks order is, I'm nosy and like to know those things. Allison, great news for you. You are also getting a CFSI chapstick, reusable straw, and a phone wallet. And if you don't already have a reusable straw, I think you'd be surprised how often that we use them. I have one here. And last but certainly not least, Michelle, who has just been rocking it in the chat all day today, wins a CFSI t-shirt, and they are super soft, super cozy, and I also wear that more often than you'd think. And it turns out that you can pair it like with a blazer and actually look real professional in it. So if you need any other styling tips, just let us know. But we are super excited to send those out to you. Great work. And Devin will private message you so that we can figure out how to mail them out.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Marissa to run a little closing activity.
Awesome. Hi friends, Marissa Rodriguez. I am the Director of Experiential Learning here at the College for Social Innovation, which means my job is an awesome mix of all things internships and teaching, what am I trying to say? Half of the dynamic duo of teachers. I am the Batman. No, I am the Robin to Ashley's Batman and do the Friday class, launching a purpose-driven career and working in diverse teams threads. What I'm going to do right now is share my screen. And the reason is that we're going to do a little debrief. Part of what is core to our educational philosophy here at College for Social Innovation is experiential learning. And Eric loves the John Dewey quote, learning is reflection upon experience. And so that's what we're going to do right now. We do a lot of reflection throughout classes and throughout your internship experience. And so we'll sort of take a page out of that book. So this is a fun platform called Mentimeter. And all you're going to do is if you go either on your phone or computer to the address at the top of the screen, www.menti.com, it'll ask you to type in that 7-digit code, if I can do math and count. And then you should have a prompt that tells you to write a response to one of these 3 things. So if you want to write about sort of your head prompt, talk about something you learned today. If you want to go a little more emotional on this Friday, connect with the heart, talk about how you feel as a result of your experience today. And then if you want to go hands, you're thinking about doing, talk about any action that you want to take as a result of coming to today's event. And as you all populate and submit responses, we should start to see answers come up. We'll give folks a few minutes to respond, and then if anybody wants to chime in on any observations in what they're seeing, we can do that. I still didn't cue up the Jeopardy music, so apologies. Love it. That's always something we love to see coming out of these, is that the next step that someone wants to take is to apply. See some excitement. Love all the things in here that are relational about the people they met. That's such a key part of our program. Awesome. See some excitement. Connections. The fellows in their class this morning just did a class that talked about how networking isn't just schmoozing. So we talked a lot about connections. Shout out to the current fellows who came to class this morning and then came and did this event. You all are awesome. Love it. One of our alums chiming in, mentioning that they feel so filled seeing alum and staff that they've missed. Ooh, I can even click on them and make them bigger. I learn something new every day. If I set this up correctly, it should automatically scroll. In case you're still typing or thinking, I'll put up the prompt one more time. And Ilana, I don't know how many total folks we have, but we're at 16 responses now. So you just let me know when I have to stop with my fun commentary.
Yeah, no, let's keep scrolling through for a little bit. We've got about half the people have put something in, and I know we have a lot of staff and ambassadors and alumni, but they are all welcome to add stuff in as well. If anyone wants to keep adding some messages. Yeah, I'd love to see that folks are more excited about applying. That means we did our job, and loving the good feedback, because like I said, this is our very first virtual rendition of this. And it's always a little nerve-wracking when you do something for the first time. We had a couple of technological snafus, but I'm just delighted to see all this positive response from all of you. That's fantastic. Seems like we're holding steady at 16. I don't know if that means that folks have said all they need to say, but thank you so much for putting that together, Marissa. Oh, another one popped in. We're up to 17 now. Just really appreciative of all of our current fellows, of our ambassadors, and most importantly, our staff. To help put this together and make this a special day for you all. So the next phase of this is going to be a transition, and I'm going to share my screen again. I think, oh, we're up to 18. Yeah, all right. I will share my screen again because the next part, there's just a couple different options. So as I foreshadowed in the very beginning, there are going to be 3 options for what you do now. The first option is if you are a UNH student and you want to learn more about our new pilot, SITC at UNH, I want you to go ahead and type SITC at UNH in the chat now. If you have questions about the program's cost or how the credit allocates for your specific school, put your school name and a couple $signs in the chat, and then we'll connect you to one of our staff so that we can kind of walk through that with you. And if you really just want to spend more time one-on-one with a student who's done the program before, just put the name of your school in the chat without any $signs. So I'm going to leave that up there and give some people a second to make sure they know what they're asking for. But if none of those apply and what you're really here for is to see all the apartments and hear more about community life, stay tuned. We've got a couple awesome video apartment tours and then a panel of students who are currently living in our apartment. So that they can kind of answer some questions and tell you a little bit more about what it's actually like to stay with us here in Boston. I'm gonna say it is right now 2:21. By 2:23, please put your answer in the chat, and if you haven't by then, I'm going to assume that you want to stay in here and hear about the apartment tours. So give it just a couple minutes for that, and then we'll send those folks into their breakout rooms and start the apartment tours. And for everyone who does have to sign off, thank you so much. The application is in the chat, and we'll make sure and send a thank you note to everyone that attended, giving you our information and the link to the application. So for people that do have to hop off now, thank you so much for staying, and we are excited to meet you and talk to you in the future.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So I am going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to set up the breakout room for these two options, and then we'll get started with Lily and some of our current students in just a minute. All right, I'm going to open up the room. So goodbye to folks that are going to either chat one-on-one or to hear about SITC at UNH. You'll have Eric Schwartz, who our founder and CEO, talking about that pilot program in SITC at UNH. And if anyone does not go into a breakout room but wants to, just direct message me in the chat. Otherwise, I will turn the floor over to Lily to kick off our apartment tours.
Beautiful. Thank you, Elena. Hi, everyone, and welcome. So excited to talk more with you all about community life and housing. My name's Lily Sargent. I'm CFSI's Manager of Operations, and I do think you picked the best room. I might be a little bit biased because I run our student housing. But to start us off, without further ado, I'd like to kick it over to Molly, who's going to show us a little bit of a video apartment tour.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Lily. For those of you who I haven't met, I'm Molly. I'm the Manager of Marketing and Communications here at CFSI. And I want to give a huge shout out to Tom and Vera, who I think are both in this room. And if they aren't, they are the ones who did these amazing and filmed these amazing apartment tours. And I think they're here to talk a little bit more about what it's like to live in our student apartments. That being said, I'm going to kick it off. Okay, let me figure out how to share my screen. Amazing. Bear with me. Thank you. Okay.
Hi, my name's Vera, and this is our apartment. Here we have our first bathroom. Oh, I didn't film it sideways. Okay. But yeah, this is apartment 6 in the Chester building. So we're on the top floor, 3rd floor. And then this is. Come on in this way. Thanks for watching. Hope you come to semester in the city. Bye.
Okay, that was one of the apartments, and the next one was filmed by Tom, and this is like in a different building.
Hello. So this is my room. So I have like a bunch of posters all over my room. That's my little work area. Bed. This is like my little makeshift photo studio that I have set up. It's got like a lot of room and stuff. A lot of sneaker space, clothes space, and whatnot. I got a little space projector there. Really cool to like look at night and stuff. Sets a nice atmosphere. And yeah, that's it.
Welcome to my room. Got a little art gallery going on here. TV set up in the corner with some speakers. Pretty good setup.
And so that was Tom's apartment, and that's, I believe, in Parkvale. So you can find more information about our apartments and see more pictures on our website. And both of these videos are already up on our YouTube page, but you can also check them out on our Instagram and Facebook as of this afternoon after this meeting. So check them out on our social pages, and you can find a lot more about student life on there as well. So that's a quick plug for our Instagram and Facebook. But I'm going to pass it back over to Lily, and I think she's going to talk a little bit more about all this.
Beautiful. Thank you, Molly. And thank you, Tom and Vera and roommates, for those amazing videos. They were so excellent. Without further ado, I would love to kick it over to our amazing fellows to introduce themselves. And if we can start, Tom, maybe with you. And if folks just want to take turns, tell us your name, you know, your pronouns, what school you go to, and maybe your favorite thing about your roommates.
All right. Hello, my name is Tom. I use he, him. I'm a junior at the University of New Hampshire. And sadly, two of my roommates went home this weekend and one of them's at work. So it's just going to be me today. But I think my favorite thing about living with them is that they're all from different universities and from just very different experiences. So it's really cool to talk to people that I definitely wouldn't have met otherwise.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Tom. And Tom is also a community advisor with us, and maybe we'll get him to talk a little bit more about that later on. But Vera, do you want to take it next, and you and all your roommates can go around and introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Vera, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a sophomore at the University of Vermont. And I would say my favorite thing about living with my roommates is just going out and hanging out together in the city of Boston. Yeah.
Do you say I'm Tori. I use she, her. I'm a senior at the University of New Hampshire, and my favorite thing about my roommates is like coming out of our rooms after like a Zoom call and discussing everything that we like just talked about, and like getting real opinions and everything is like really cool.
Hi, I'm Jada. I use she, her pronouns. I go to UMass Dartmouth. I'm a senior. I think I have to agree with you about going to Boston with everyone. I definitely loved going to Haymarket with everyone. That was a great experience.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you all. So we're going to do some questions, kind of panel style to start it off. But folks in the audience, if you have questions that come up about housing or community life, feel free to throw them in the chat. And after we're done, we'll open it up to make sure we get to as many, if not all of those. So tell us a little bit about what it's like living in our housing.
I can go. Living in the housing here is really amazing, mostly because of the location. So Alston is a really pretty neighborhood, and it's a 5-minute walk away from Cambridge. From Brookline, I'm in love with Brookline. I go every day. I run there, I shop there. It's amazing. It's a great town. I wish I could afford to live there. I told my mom she should move. It's a great place. Tom Brady's house is not close to where we are, but you could find it, I'm sure. Yeah, and it's also very, very close to the center of the city. It's just like a 20-minute T ride away. You could even walk there. I tried to walk there once. A normal person could make it. I decided to not. Yeah.
I would also agree. Yeah, it's definitely a really nice neighborhood that we're in. If you like takeout, you gotta be careful. There are so many restaurants in the area. It's almost a bad thing, but it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
Beautiful. So you've already touched on this a little bit, but what are some fun things that you have done to explore the city?
Or yeah.
So what we've done is, so one of our classes, the Becoming a Problem Solver on Fridays, is actually inside the city. So during those first 2 in-person classes, we were able to explore a little bit and just look around. Also, it's really beautiful to go during sunset, and there's BU Beach next to us. So I don't think anybody explained this earlier, but it's right inside of the Boston University campus and really close to Harvard and also Boston College. So you have a really great community and a lot of different parks to go and just enjoy your time.
You like really blend in with the BU students. I bought a BU shirt just to like sell it, but it's like you're definitely could just lie to people and tell you go to BU too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's a very college-friendly environment. There's college students everywhere. You really just blend in very nicely. Something that my roommates and I have been doing recently that's really fun is we'll just get on the T every weekend and ride it to a random stop, get off, and see what's there. It's really a good way to get to know the city because you have no idea. Well, I mean, like geographically, you know where you're going to be, but that's about it. So you just kind of put yourself out there and see what Boston has to offer, one stop at a time.
Beautiful. I'm going to tackle one question that I saw come over in the chat because it's a great one. Angela asked what comes in the apartments and what she should bring. And all our apartments are fully furnished, so they come with the essentials. You'll have your bed, a desk, a chair, a desk lamp, a dresser, and then your living room comes furnished and you'll have a dining room table. Your kitchen is stocked with the essentials, and it's really a space that's ready for you to move in, but it's always great to augment with your own stuff as well. I don't know if folks on the panel have some things that they brought that they were really excited about, or maybe some advice for folks on packing and thinking about what they should bring for their space.
Just a clarification question for us. Are they going to have singles, all be singles next year or next semester? Yeah. Okay. So you have a ton of space. And you can bring, I brought a lot of stuff and I had space for everything. The only thing I didn't have was a mirror, but there was one that was like left. But I brought we all brought like nightstandy kind of stuff and like drawers. Like more drawers. I would say more drawers is like the biggest thing. Like you can hang a lot of stuff. Like you'll have plenty of room to hang stuff, but you'll want you don't want to hang every t-shirt, you know?
And if anything is missing or you realize you forgot something, Target is super close, as well as TJ Maxx. It's like a 5-minute walk away. So there won't be any problems with getting those items.
On top of that, bring a lot of decorations, because if you've got a single room, you've got a lot of wall space to work with. And also, if you're going to be doing virtual work, you want your bedroom to be really comfortable and just you want to feel good being in there. So I recommend any sort of flair that you can add to your room. Don't hold out.
Tom, I feel like you and your roommates have done such a good job of bringing in decoration to the space. We should hire you and have you do an HGTV makeover, SITC edition. So thinking about prospective students, what's something that folks should know about coming to Boston and about being in housing with us?
I would say just really being ready to go with the flow and just have an adventurous mindset and a need to explore. That's one of the things that is super important, because for me, I'm from Vermont, from a little town, and coming here was really amazing. I mean, Jada went with me the first time we really explored the city, and I was looking at all these huge buildings and just leaning up, and yeah, it was a really good experience for me. So yeah, I would just say have a open mindset and get ready to explore, because there's so much to see. And honestly, we've been here a month and we haven't seen enough. Yeah.
And it's very different than living in a dorm. Like,
Yeah.
or
definitely.
an apartment, like say you lived in an apartment like off campus, it is such a different experience, because you're like living across the hall or upstairs from like real people. And like they're like not students, and they'll yell at you when you're too loud, or like whatever you're doing, they'll let you know that they have work in the morning and shut up.
It's not us though.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the exploration and sense of adventure is something that's really cool about Boston. I recommend you get comfortable with the MBTA real quick, because once you do, it opens up so much more of the city. If you're comfortable riding the T, getting to different spots, you can see anything. You can get anywhere. And I swear it's not as scary as it seems. Everything is very clearly labeled. You just have to take the time to actually read those signs, but you can get anywhere you need to pretty easily.
Lily, I saw a question in the chat that might work well for you, about what not to bring, and Eva said candles, but is there something else that we should be thinking about in terms of what to leave at home?
Yeah, that is a great point. So I think our rules and regulations kind of follow along with what you would expect at your university, in your dorm. So, you know, you're certainly welcome to bring your personal items. And as folks have said, there's tons of space in our apartments. They're super big. So you get to kind of take your creative interpretation from that perspective. And then in terms of things not to bring, yeah, Edith mentioned candles. I think, you know, that's probably an important one. And then, you know, one thing, so we are no pets unless you request an accommodation, and you'll have the opportunity to do that on your housing preferences form. So that's one note. We do allow fish as long as it's one fish and in a tank. And I think that kind of covers it, but if you have general questions about specific stuff that comes up, you're more than welcome to reach out to me by email, and I'll make sure that I get you all that before the end of this chat. But for the panel, what's your favorite thing about your apartment?
For me, I would say the lighting in our apartment. It's definitely very well lit. We have a lot of windows, which is, for me, it was new to me, the Boston structure. So the hexagon, where they go all out. I don't know, it's a very normal Boston architecture that I never really knew about, and it gives a lot of light into the apartments. And that's also just really nice, especially in the mornings.
I would say the layout of the kitchen and the living room, it's very open. And there's a lot of counter space, so I definitely would say this area is my favorite. Yeah.
I can't think of one.
There's just so
many. Our bathrooms are super nice too.
Yeah.
I feel like our apartment, the layout of it just worked out really well.
And that's also Chester, because
yeah,
we have seen some of the other apartments, but we really like Chester.
Yeah.
Good for Chester. Beautiful. Tom, you are a community advisor with us, and would you like to tell us a little bit about what that looks like for you and what made you apply?
Sure. So the community advisor position is an opportunity to just be a bit more involved, help people build connections, try to get a community going, which I feel is especially important right now where we don't get as many in-person classes. So I feel like having a strong core in the community is more important now than ever. And I think what I like most about the CA position, I was a RA at UNH, and it's very different in a good way. I feel like RAs kind of get a bad rep as like the cops on campus more or less, but a CA is just like assistants really. They're here to help. If you have something wrong in your apartment, you can text them, they'll help out. They host fun events. They're like your go-to for questions on class and internships. It's a fun role to be in.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tom. You know, moving to Boston and being in Boston is fun. And I think that's one of the cool draws of this program is there's so many opportunities to engage and connect both as a community within SITC, but also in the Boston community. Do you all want to talk a little bit about community life events and opportunities that you've had to kind of come together and engage as a group?
Yeah, we have not had as much time as we would have liked to go into those community advisor events. We've mostly just kind of like gone on our own as an apartment squad. But we have participated in some of the Netflix parties, which are really fun because you're all simultaneously watching a Netflix movie. And those have been really great because you're able to communicate with other people. And that's more of a virtual kind of community advisor event, yeah. But they've all seemed to be really awesome.
I believe we've got something in the works right now that'll be something that involves boats. I think it's like a Harbor Island ferry trip. So there's some opportunities for pretty big events, and I think that's one of the cool things about it is CFSI can help with the infrastructure and the actual planning. So enough people get behind an idea, then you can make something pretty big go on. So that's something that's on the way, and I'm pretty excited for it.
That is awesome. Yeah, I think that's one of the really cool aspects. And Vera, and you and your roommates kind of touched on the opportunity, the freedom to do stuff that's self-planned as a group, but then there's also a number of community life events that CFSI and our amazing CAs host. So you've got a lot of different opportunities and a lot of cool ways to engage around that. And yeah, I think I just want to clarify a couple of things that have come up in the chat, but we are offering all singles in the spring. So as folks mentioned, you'll have lots of space and that's excellent. And I think that's beautiful. We're kind of getting towards the end, but I want to give folks kind of the chance to either raise their hand and ask questions out loud, or if you want to put something in the chat that we haven't gotten to, please feel free. And I don't know if Tom or Vera and Tori and Jada have any last points that they would like to bring up, but.
Yeah, I can just say that overall living in the Alston apartments is really great. Also just to have a sense of community and have a sense that you are connected to the people around you, especially in these uncertain times. Yeah, so I've had a really good experience and I would definitely recommend it. Yeah.
And I feel like we don't know a lot of the commuters. That's also because we haven't been to the community events, which are bad. But like we don't like see them as much just because like we get together with and go like out with some of the other apartments, and it's harder to do that when like you're not here.
Perfect. Well, thank you all. I so appreciate it. Again, if folks have questions in the audience that are housing related, feel free to shoot them my way. And I will turn it over to Elena to close things out. But a huge thanks to our panel for joining us and for the excellent videos. They were amazing.
Awesome. Well, so thank you, everybody. Again, thank you so much to our current students, our former students, and the whole CFSI staff for coming together and putting this event together. Like I said, we'll send a follow-up email. And as Devin mentioned, the priority deadline was actually yesterday. But we are extending that for folks that are here right now until October 4th, which can get you in kind of in that priority matching status. And we'll be excited to see your application. So we have the, in the chat, I put the application. It's all over our website. We'll be sending out a follow-up email and you may get a text reminding you as well. But also we'll have our contact information. If you have more questions from myself, Devin, or Stephanie, any of the lead recruiters, we're always happy to help. And I just really appreciate you taking time out of your busy Friday to come hang out with us today. So thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
It's like great to see everyone. Hi, Elena.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pop in and see how you all were doing.
Oh, we were doing great. We were talking about resumes and what you should include on it. And I said it's totally fine. Like as a freshman, if you did an internship in high school, definitely include that.
Yeah.
It gives you a leg up. But like if you're part of prom committee, maybe don't include that.
Oh, it definitely include that too. We actually have a new application guide that will kind of walk you through the whole admissions process. You haven't already applied yet, Molly?
I haven't. I'm gonna like do it like this month. I'm hoping to go fall semester sophomore year, which I'm a freshman, so that would be next fall.
Okay. Have you filled out an interest form?
No.
No. Saffron, would you throw one in the chat to Molly, and then I'll make sure that she gets that guide. I'm going to pop into the other breakout room. I just wanted to see how you were doing, so I didn't like close.
We're doing great over here. We're killing it.
Okay, so feel free to head back to the main room when you're done.
All right.
Just log off of the meeting, okay?
Yep, let me pop that in the chat.
Yeah, get that in the chat, fill out the interest form. That way you'll be in our system, and I'll send you our application guide, which has some resume advice as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
One-on-one over the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, I just put my email in the chat if either of you want to reach out to me, or you can look at the website, and I'm sure you can find Faina's email very easily as well.
Not too many Fainas around.
Yeah. But it was very nice hearing from both. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Eleanor, are we off in 8 seconds, or do we have a little bit more time to wrap up?
I can, I think, extend it. Let me figure out how.
I think we're okay, Elena, but
Oh, we're okay. Because it just said remaining time 0, but
yes.
the screen
Well,
did
that's
not
why I
go
was
black.
popping in, is I wanted to see if you needed more time and see if you had any questions or anything over here. But I just did the extension. So if you, whenever you are wrapped up, either I can hang out and you can ask me any questions, or whenever you're wrapped up, you can just end the call and the breakout room.
Feel free to stay. I think we're close to wrapping up, but feel free to stay in for a couple more minutes if you want. Just so Kate and Abby will know, this is Ilana. She's worked with me and Faina and Katie and others to kind of craft this at UNH pilot, and we'll be really involved in lifting it off the ground. Abby's a senior who's pretty new to learning about semester in the city and the at UNH. Kate, I think, is a freshman, but who knows a lot about it through the Changemaker Collaborative and her mentor and others. Yeah, so you both have a lot to think about. Again, we'd love to have you both in the program. I think there's real reasons in each of your cases to do it. If you think you're interested, I'd encourage you to apply over the weekend. It doesn't take a long time, and it doesn't mean that you're signing off other options. Like, you still talk to us throughout that process, throughout the enrollment process. If you want to have more conversations with specific students who've done the program in your interest areas, just let us know. We can set that up.
Yeah, I just put the first link, the TA forms, is an interest form that you can fill out. That'll just get you in our system as someone we know that you're interested in. That way we can reach out to you and make sure all your questions are answered. And then that second link is going to be the actual application itself. So if you fill out the first link, myself or staff will get a hold of you and just kind of like see if you need any more information, or if you want to be connected to Katie or another ambassador, and make sure that you have everything that you need to make your decision.
Yeah.
And the application works for both SITC at UNH and SITC Boston.
I want to say one more thing about if you're wrestling with like, do I do Boston? Do I do, at UNH? I think they're both going to be amazing experiences. I mean, I think we're going to put so much energy into making New Hampshire great, the UNH thing, because it's new and we want it to be a success. And, Boston's our core. We've been doing it for a while. We're also putting incredible energy into making that successful. I think a lot of it comes down to sort of personal factors. Do you have a relationship that makes you want to be at UNH? Do you have another set of engagements or projects you're working on that makes it just make more sense in your life for next semester to sort of stay at UNH? Or is that sort of appeal of being in a bigger city and sort of getting out of your comfort zone and being in a different place with a bigger cohort a more driving factor? I think they'll both be amazing. They're both great opportunities for legacy and for really not only advancing your own skills and networks, but for leaving something behind at the organization at UNH or in Boston that's powerful.
Yeah, and I would just say for Abby and Kate, if you do want to chat with Katie, you should totally reach out to her by email, and she'll take you out for coffee, and we'll charge it to me. It'll be great. And yeah, you could like pick her brain about all of it. And Kate, definitely consider doing it. I know the CSDC, the Child Care Development Center, is definitely looking into doing semester in the city at UNH. And Abby, this is your last semester, so I'm watching you, and I hope that you apply. But yeah, definitely feel free to call me or text me or make an appointment with me or Katie or Ilana to chat. All right. It was so good to see you all.
Thank
you so much, guys. So good. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks for coming. Look forward to reading your applications.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Again.
Okay. I think that's, I'm gonna call it. We ended 1 minute early. Congratulations.
Hey, woo.
That's great. Good job.
Both of you
Nice.
for that.
Really well done.
Thank
well
you.
done, team.
I was thinking in the middle of Eric talking, like I should have been recording that, and I wasn't recording.
It's recording. I recorded, yours, you mean?
Oh, in the